What's happening, folks?
What's up?
You
What's
are
up?
tuned in to that podcast. Welcome to the show.
To that podcast, Collective
That's right.
Bargaining
I'm
Podcast.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting on you to chip in, man. That's the
yo,
alley oop.
yo, yo,
That's the
yo.
alley
Welcome.
oop. You know.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. The Collective Bargaining Podcast. We are live tonight. How you guys doing?
You already know. You already know. Welcome to the show, folks. We are live post NBA All Star Weekend in
Uh,
Cleveland.
it
Big
was very
weekend. Big
interesting.
weekend. Big
Very
weekend.
interesting.
Yep. You know, it's
Minus one event. It was very interesting.
despite I would say, the level of excitement this weekend, this is probably the most detached I've been from an All Star weekend. Um, it's a weird feeling, and maybe it's just, I don't know, COVID, all the differences this season that have. I still follow the season. I'm still following the players,
Oh
still
yeah,
looking at numbers. All that stuff is
actively.
still there, but definitely, I think just the attachment this season. Um, and I think it's down to teams losing their players, and not having that consistency throughout the season. There's so much
That's
going
right.
on. The trade deadline, even though you had some key moves, I want to say,
Right.
some teams did retool. This wasn't like a massive free agency, where you had like a host of superstars. I think the year before, or 2 years ago, it was almost like a flip. If you
Yeah.
looked at superstars in one uniform and then you looked at the picture after, it was
Afterwards.
insane. I don't think
But yeah,
we've ever
you
seen
have
that
to
before.
you have to remember that the players these days are looking to secure the bag first,
That's right.
and they know that if they want to move, they could always request a trade. So
Facts.
they're not looking at, all right, let me become a free agent, because they're thinking about injuries and all these things now.
Facts.
So they're like,
Facts.
yo, let me get all the money I can now. If anything, I get an extension instead of going, not everybody's LeBron where they could take like a 1+1 or a
Yeah.
2+1. you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So they secure the
Absolutely.
bag first, and then if anything, they say, all right, let me get a trade.
Yeah, I think the product, and I've said this, I've been saying this for a while, right? Since I want to say, the bubble playoffs
Right.
that season. The actual product itself, I thought, changed slightly. Now I like the innovation that Silver is taking All Star Weekend.
Yes.
I got to give credit for that.
Yes,
The skills
he's done a lot of
challenge,
things.
the teams, the breakdown. I still think things like the celebrity game, and also
That needs to go.
yeah, I would.
Or maybe a revamp.
Yeah, revamp. Well, to me, I agree with that, right? Because there are celebrities that play at I want to say, a very elite level, right? In terms of basketball,
Correct.
apart from,
Correct.
I would say, these movie stars, etc. You have guys like Cole, the game, others that actually play in leagues.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. I would have them, build some teams that you'd see playing at a Rucker Park. Have a draft, just like you do for the All-Star game, and have a draft. Do like a
draft the
celebrity
celebrities?
draft. Have the celebrities sit in the room to do the drafting. Play like highlights,
Ooh,
so you
that's
could
tough.
make this really interesting, where you have a mixture of street players and celebrities, but the celebrities have to be good at what they're doing. And then you have a draft, but have the celebrities do the draft. So you have this high
So
profile celebrity draft.
you got famous street players basically.
Exactly. And that game, people will be tuned in because, you have the hype, the celebrity power behind it, but you also
Yeah.
have the skill, right? That's going to be in the game. I think that's the problem people have with that, right? They know you're going to be, I'm sorry, but Machine Gun Kelly taking jump shots from 1 foot away from the basket, and
Brick.
it's just hard to watch, man. It's hard to
Brick,
watch,
brick,
and
brick.
exactly. Now watching Kevin Hart,
Build a house. Oh.
watching Kevin Hart get those MVPs, because you could see he was trying, right?
Yes. Yes.
But that was entertainment. But
Yeah, that was entertaining. Yes, he didn't
Right.
do much. He didn't do much in terms of
No, no.
scoring and stuff, but it was still entertaining.
Exactly, exactly. So I think they need to factor in those things. I think it needs retooling, definitely. NBA, I
Fair.
think we spoke about a dunk contest.
Yeah,
That
man.
should
That.
not be the showcase Saturday night. It should not be the
But
showcase.
here's the thing, right? They did do something similar to what you suggested in terms of
Right,
like just go out there and just dunk,
right.
right, in the first round. But nobody can make any dunks.
That's the problem. So you have a couple problems wrong with couple problems with the NBA dunk contest. One, you have the skill level of the actual participants. So, ability to actually make amazing eye-popping dunks is just not there.
But they could
But
they could do it.
also some, but also too, the dunks that people want to see actually carry very high risks. And
Yes.
unfortunately, you're not going to get the top tier dunkers in a dunk contest risking injury. Even though that excuse sometimes doesn't hold up when you see John Morant in a warm up doing better dunks than the dunk contest.
Bruh. They did better
It's
dunks in the All-Star game.
in a warm up. I'm saying still
Yo,
with
he was
threads on, with
bruh, he was Ja
button
is
ups on,
different.
and he's not the only one. You see guys, the superstars, doing dunks that are
But we
better
saw
than the
LeBron used to be doing these crazy dunks during
all
warm-up.
sorts of yeah. That's why people were upset, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a bit. I guess I understand not wanting to be out there doing dunk after dunk and putting yourself out there like that. So I think ultimately they're not going to be able to, even if you add money, you're not going to be able to convince stars to come out and put
Nah.
themselves out there. A lot of guys are brand conscious now. And
Yeah.
losing a dunk contest, they just don't want that risk, so to speak, for their brand. I'm talking top tier guys. So I think what they need to do, and we discussed that, was bring the profession. I want to see a 540. I want to see a guy spin literally 3.5 to 4 times, you know, or sorry, almost 2 times
Almost
completely,
yeah.
almost 2 times. Sorry,
I mean,
so
a 720 has been done.
has been done. You will never ever see a guy do that in an actual All-Star weekend, a professional basketball player, because it's way too risky to attempt.
But I think they're still trying to keep it like that part NBA players.
NBA players,
That's
right?
That's the only thing.
And
They're trying
that's
to keep that
so.
part as NBA players.
So this is the proposal, right? That I think we discussed. And they tried this one year, right? And it just seems like the dunks they picked weren't really that exciting. So this is the thing. Like you would have a let's use ice skating. In ice
Right.
skating, you have different tiers of difficulty, right? Their routine is actually pre-mapped, meaning the judges already know what their routine is going to be, and they're judged against that.
Correct. It's all about execution.
Yeah. In terms of the dunks that a potential dunker can do in an all-star game, we've seen everything possible. You're not going to go into a dunk contest and see anything new, to be honest. So how about this? You create 3 different the margins for seeing something that you haven't seen is maybe changing the direction of your hand by it's
that is fair.
marginal. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a modification of what's been done before.
Add a
So
spin, something.
yeah, that's it. The direction of your spin, or just the hand, the offhand versus your
Yeah.
main hand. That's it, right? So what they should do is separate all past dunks that have been done, or types of dunks, into 3 different categories. You could
Right.
use 2K to help you with the different packages to sort it,
This is true.
and you have different. So they're in different tiers: 1, 2, 3. And then 3 gives you higher points because it's a higher level of difficulty. 2, obviously, in the center. And 1,
Right.
easier, but you can max out because it's easier, but you just won't get that high amount of points.
You might get like 40, 42,
Right.
something like that.
So you give the judges your routine ahead of the dunk contest, and you go in and you try to execute on that. You have a routine, but you leave one space for, let's say, a creative dunk of your own style.
All right.
And that's it. But keep the as I said, let everyone do every single dunk. Do not have it as an eliminator because you potentially take away from us seeing dunks and have a what if scenario that is insane. So
Mm.
you want everybody laid out on a table. Let's see what the best is from that point. So that's that. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think that's the goal. But I mean, your thoughts on that?
Actually, that idea is not that far fetched. Well, not I shouldn't say far fetched, but it's not a bad idea. I don't think they'll go down that route because most likely, I think they'll probably change up. They probably tweak the settings that they have now. They probably
Yeah.
wouldn't try to do too much. Although I wouldn't mind seeing something along the lines of what you were saying in terms
Right.
of um, either bringing I mean, what does it? Doesn't the G League have some guys too? You can introduce some guys from the G League. I'm sure the G League has some great dunkers. I've actually
Definitely.
seen some guys, some games with some great in-game dunkers, and I know those guys will be happy to play out
Yeah.
there. But the only thing is, I think that they might be worried that a G League dunker might be better than an NBA player dunker.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Definitely.
But I'll quicker see them. I quicker see them doing something along those lines, integrating one or two G League players to come into it. But I don't know. I don't. Your one might be a little bit too far into the future in terms of those kind of tiers. But I don't think it's that far fetched. I mean, it
Yeah.
probably makes it
And
probably
they
makes
did it
sense.
already. They did an iteration
Did
of it
something? Yeah,
already where
they did
they were
something
doing
similar.
past
Yes.
dunks, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, because the reason I say, and shout out to Alana for joining us tonight. I honestly, I think the situation with the dunk contest has gotten to a point where you have the potential of damaging your All-Star Weekend product. As much good as you're
Mhm.
doing on Sunday night with that new
Because it's the main
format,
event on Saturdays,
it's
so
the
they got
main
to. So they either have to
exactly,
change. They either have to change it to before the 3 point shootout because that's consistently good, or
exactly.
before something else and have something else. They might even have to change it to having that rookie, the rookie. What was it? The rookie thing with the four. What do you call it again? Rising Stars
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
That was really good.
It was really good. It was
That
really good.
ended up
Yeah,
really good, and
yeah,
they might have to put that as the highlight
yeah.
instead of the dunk
Well,
contest.
it's at the moment the dunk contest is the least interesting of all of them. You know,
Nobody
it
watches for the dunk contest.
no. You want to tune into the 3 point contest. That's thrilling
Definitely,
to me. That should
yes.
end the night because right now the game is about 3 point shooting,
Yeah.
right? And the dunk contest just doesn't have the excitement, and it's as we mentioned, it's damaging the product. So that's why I think, and Adam Silva is a revolutionary, right? I think he's not afraid to go in and tweak. If
Yeah,
you look at what they've done to the All-Star Weekend in the past 2 years alone,
yeah.
that's a lot of
He's tweaked
change.
so much.
Yeah.
Yes, it
So
is.
I believe it's
But
not
and
far.
it
It's
was a
not
needed
far.
change too.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's probably looking at this like we're on TV live and we're seeing superstars clearly disgusted with what they're seeing. Shaq was there. There was no emotion. I mean, a dunk contest is supposed to be something where you have,
The
you know,
crowd. I mean, to be
yeah,
fair, the whole weekend, the crowd was a little dead.
yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
admit to that. Even on the All Star game, they
yeah, yeah.
were they were they were alley hoop dunks. They were just like
Wasn't the same. Wasn't the
ooh,
same. Wasn't the same.
ooh.
Yep. Yep.
Steph shooting from all these ranges, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think let's see how it plays out. I think definitely we'll see some changes. I don't think he's the type of guy that's going to look at that and
No,
you know
he,
just leave it
he
as it is.
definitely. I think he has mentioned it before that there's
Yeah.
going to be change, but I honestly don't have a recommendation like you do in terms
Yeah.
of like, all right, this is what they should do. I just know that the way that they're going right now
Yeah.
is not, and it should not be the highlight of the night anymore.
Yeah.
Because
No. No. It's not.
the
It's not.
Rising Stars challenge was good, the skills challenge was good, three
Excellent.
point con- the 3 point contest was good, right? And then to end the night off with a slam dunk cup, where the guys only completed what 5 dunks out of 20 something.
Right. And I will say this now. Get guys, if guys are not willing to show up like Giannis and play hard, I don't want to see them in the skills challenge. If guys are not acting like it
Right?
means something to them, I don't
Yeah.
want to see NBA players lackadaisically running. You see one of their
They play
teammates
nonchalant and stuff.
just
Like, what are you
cruising.
doing?
I mean, there's no risk, zero to little risk of injury in the skills
Yeah.
challenge. Why are you taking your time? Why are you cruising and floating and then we see your teammate going all out trying to get
Busting
stuff
his
done,
tail.
It's just it's just too yeah. I mean, you're there for a competition. Go out there and show that you could do it at the highest level with
But
effort,
you know how Giannis is.
Yeah,
Giannis will
well,
go.
he's
Giannis goes a
he
hundred
said
every
straight up,
time.
All-Star weekend, I have so much trouble. I struggle with it because, it made me laugh and I wish I had the clip to show. But
Yeah.
he blocked his teammate, Chris Middleton,
Yes.
and he apologized on camera for it after. He was like, man, I turned, I didn't know who it was, but the person went past me and I turned around. I just went up hard,
I just
man.
went hard.
And Chris was
That's
like,
so funny.
"Really?" off the plate. So he's a guy, man, that is really. I love
Giannis just
seeing that
plays hard.
mentality. I
Yeah.
love seeing that mentality, to be honest. Um, Funny enough, so Milwaukee is actually only an hour and a half from me or less,
Yeah.
driving. And it's a lovely city during the summer, etc. Especially the craft beers that you find up there, the local brews,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So definitely a good city, just really on the smaller side versus Chicago, but a lot of rivalry because of the American football side.
Of course.
In Wisconsin, Green Bay versus the Bears, of course. But apart from that, no, short drive, cool city, to check out, especially in the warmer months. But yeah, so he's banging it out for the city, man. And as I said, I just love the mentality. So hopefully the players coming up, that carries over even more because I just don't like that lackadaisical or laid back feel to the game.
I mean,
We saw it.
it even carries to the Sunday game. Like
Yeah, it
the
does. It
first
does.
the first half is just like, all right, let's just cruise, guys. I mean, to be fair, they don't get a chance to properly warm up, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can
And then
understand like why the first quarter or so that might take them a little while. But I mean, as a
yeah,
b-ball player, like it doesn't take you that long to warm up. Though
yeah. And
it
then on
take you a
top
half
of
a
that,
half a quarter.
yeah. And then on top of that, right, you have a situation where the half, where this was an extended
Oh yeah,
half because of the
very
75th
much.
year, right? Celebrations. That was extremely long, I would say. So, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I think you're talking about the best in the world, so they come out and do what they have to do. But it definitely has an impact, especially when you're looking at 3 quarters of just kind of loose play. I think towards the end of the quarters, anytime a team was up a bit, they were able to get back into the game. You saw some effort there, but yeah, it's usually the fourth quarter. I think they may have to look at that in a way. If we could get at least 2 full quarters, man, of that, then that would be
Yes.
great.
Like
Or maybe
two full
separate it.
quarters of like good basketball.
Yeah. They may have to like separate it, make it 2 separate games or something like that, where the results of the first have some sort of profound impact on the next two
Yes,
rounds,
yeah,
something
exactly.
like that. Um, we may not see that because it's a fresh
But
format, and
they did do that. They said if you win, what was it? Oh, you win the quarter, the money goes to charity.
yeah.
But
So they added
whoever
money
win,
to the yeah,
right, and whoever was up after the third, they have a least amount of points to score or something like that.
yeah. So did you see Steph's contributions, like the stuff he had mentioned? Um, so I think he gave money for every 3-pointer he made, every point he made, um, and if he got the MVP, he was going to donate as well. So
Yeah,
it was a lot of money, actually. Yeah.
yeah,
So I think
that
it
was
was,
dope.
yeah, it was good. It was good. Um, so I mean, since we have, I just need to see if Alana is still on the line, because just just give me some acknowledgement, Alana, if you're still with us. So we're gonna wait for you in the comments and see if you're still here with us. We got something to say. So let me know if you're still there.
Okay.
She's there.
Yeah.
All right, good. Now, Alana, thanks for joining us. A lot of the usual culprits are not here today, but guess what? You're on a special, and you're gonna receive 2 months of Microsoft Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for 2 months.
Damn
All
it! I
right,
wish it was
so
me. I wish it was me.
um, free.
Ah!
So thank you for tuning in. I just sent you your code in the chat. Now you can use it. You can feel free to use it yourself. That gives you access to all 100 games of Xbox. You can stream it on your phone. You can stream it anywhere you want, pretty much.
Man,
Um, Now, if you already have Xbox Game Pass, then what that means is
you
you
just
you may
add it
have to
on.
pass it on as a gift, because it has to be someone new to it. So,
Yeah,
um,
new
so
users.
yeah, so this is definitely our gift to you. So enjoy it. You can give it to someone as a gift if you feel like it. But thank you for tuning in. Yeah, yep,
Enjoy that.
yep.
I know. I'm enjoying mine, so enjoy that.
Yeah, you do not need, again, you do not need an Xbox or a PC to enjoy it, by the way. So you can do it from your
It's true.
phone, from your tablet, anything like that. It's all you can stream pretty much with the ultimate version for 2 months
Yep,
free. So
that's correct.
enjoy that, and yeah, I just delivered to your account. Okay, so all right, so back to basketball, man. So essentially I lost what I would call a sham. Yeah, you can use it on your iPad, by the way. It works flawlessly on your iPad through your browser.
Is
So,
that sham?
yeah. What I lost was actually, yeah, you're gonna have to
Bruh.
check and make sure of that, because it's you're gonna just download the Game Pass. When you download the Game Pass, you're gonna have to redeem it, and just check your iPad to make sure the app is available on there. But it should be
It
fine,
should be.
because it
It should
doesn't
be
rely,
available. Yeah.
yeah, it does not rely on, your hardware or anything to run it, right? It's really just streaming everything. So, yeah. Um Hey, by the way, shout out to Can. He said he loved the game format. It was balanced between um, fun entertainment and competition at the end of the quarters. Plus, Curry went crazy. Of course,
Fair enough.
yeah. I managed to catch up on the game during the week, and yeah, what he did was we actually had an argument over, Curry and how it was interpreted. That but before we get there, so I did lose the predictions, so my streak has been broken at 2. um
You gotta stop that streak, yo.
yeah. So as a result, I'm gonna take a shot of some Red Label here. Yeah, it's Red Label. It's
Wow.
Johnny Walker Red Label.
Oh,
um
okay.
yeah, I mean, in the colder weather, I don't mind these at all, to be honest, right?
Okay.
So
All right.
so I'm gonna go with that.
Do
um
you do, bro?
Unlike other shows, we don't do Mountain Dew. That's too much sugar, so we just go straight for the alcohol. You know, Red Label, Red Label. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so I'm gonna go for this.
Hey, you have fun with that, bro.
It's actually not bad at all, man.
Red
Yep.
label is not bad. Okay.
No, no.
Okay.
Is Red Label supposed to be bad, folks? I don't think so. What's your take on Red Label?
I don't like the taste.
Really?
Don't.
Judging by, well, I see Alana in the comments. Alana is like Red Label and questioning, right? Oh, Blue Label
No,
is better. So
it's a little, yeah. Blue is a little bit more smooth.
yeah,
Red is a little harsh for me.
blue, black, red. It doesn't matter. You add some ginger ale to that, and your night is set. All right, ginger ale, or even, I mean, there's some other mixes that you can have there, but
Man,
it's,
add some ice.
yeah, and some ice,
No, just
definitely.
ice. Just ice alone.
Ice and Red Label.
No. Yeah, yeah,
or
just
any
ice
of them?
alone, ice alone.
Yeah, I mean
Any of them are ice
that's
alone.
that's fine. That's fine. But sometimes you're looking for a mix, So,
All right, fine. All right.
and don't forget, if you're doing the Canadian dry side, go bold instead of regular. So that's the gold
Ooh,
can instead of, because it adds a little more ginger to it.
interesting.
Yeah,
Really?
so it you get a much better flavor than the regular Canadian dry. It's not bad with the regular, but they have it's like a
I've not
goldish gold and black instead of the green can. So, but it's definitely stronger, a little
never
bit
had that one.
stronger on the ginger side. Yeah,
Duly noted.
yeah. Go for the bold next time. Yeah,
Yeah.
um,
But
yeah,
get accustomed
yeah.
to this. You're gonna be losing for the next couple weeks.
I don't really see that, but let's see what happens.
We have 7. Oh, we got 7 weeks left.
Yeah, not much.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
incredible,
not
by
much.
the way.
7 weeks left.
Yeah. By the way, we're inviting everyone to do I would say brackets with us for March
Yes.
Madness. So we're going to post a bracket actually so you can print out if you can take a photo of it and add it under the comment section when we post the topic, and that the winner of that bracket who takes part with us is going to win something special as well. So stay tuned with that. The show will give away things from here and there. We like making people happy on the show, of course, and talking some ball. Um, so Steph Curry, right? We talked about this uh,
Wardell.
extensively, right? Now, your take on this was that, okay, you're praising him for the record, but, you know, it's the All Star game. You're not overly impressed by it. In fact, you didn't seem impressed at all by it,
No, I
right?
was impressed. I was impressed that he made 15, but I was not like, oh my god, he made 15.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
he made 15. It's hard to do on a normal basis, even when
Right.
there's no defense on you.
Right.
But he's an elite. Like he's what, the top 3 shooter in the game ever, basically. And you're just
Right.
giving him open looks. Like
Right.
if you watch the game, there were certain plays where they tried, and he had some deep ones,
Right.
right? That
Right.
deep one he had on Trey, woo, that was nice. The deep one with Trey just shot it, turned around one time. I was like, woo, he's a
Right.
bad man, like
Yeah.
Mark Jackson would say. But I wasn't overly impressed with 15 because I think, one, I've been desensitized to the fact that it's Steph.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
2, I've been desensitized to the fact that for the last couple All-Star games, they were like, there's no defense here.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, oh, that's a free shot. And if you give a player of that caliber a free shot, he's gonna score it.
Yeah. 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 I got that. Yeah.
Right? And clearly he had an on night last night. Clearly
Right.
this is Steph's year.
Yeah. I honestly, so this is my take on Steph. I think that in the All Star game, I think the pressure actually goes up. I don't.
Okay.
Yes, the game is very much a step down, but you're playing with the very best. Every eye, the viewership on that is 4 times the amount of a nationally televised game. Everyone
Right.
from every state is tuned in that loves basketball, is tuned in for All Star Weekend. And then you're on the biggest stage where we've seen rarely most of the stars going off or catching fire that weekend. And I think it's for a reason. I think when you look at the fact that there's no warm up, there's extensive breaks, there's a lot of laughing. It's just, there's so many things that are there as a catalyst to throw your rhythm off. And that goes for guys that take mid-range shots, that take all sorts of shots, etc., right, from across the court, do what they do effectively. And when I look at the shots he was taking, my argument for Steph not seeing defense is slightly different to the fact that I know people make the argument, well, it's an all-star game, they're rarely seeing defense, so he could take that shot. Me, I say, well, when you're out past the 35-foot line or distance, that way out, there are less defensive schemes actually built to mark you, and regardless of if it's Steph and teams prepare for him, it still affects your game because you're pulling players outside of that formation that defenses typically set themselves in the half court, right? It's a breach in the system. And for
Mhm.
me, for Steph to be over and over landing those type of shots, it just no matter how many times you see it, you're like, holy smoke, this guy is making this. You know what I mean? And it's not to say he has some regular Joe in the NBA on him. He has guys that are in some cases rated higher than him,
Yeah,
mocking him, right? So it's ridiculous, man. And then this game had multiple turnaround shots,
it did.
multiple epic
He had a lot of
photos.
turnaround shots.
It's
And he
like,
did it purposely too.
yeah,
He
the
did it
guy was
purposely.
out to disrespect the rim. It was like, all right, let me just
He's
make a
out to
show.
disrespect the rim. I
I'm
like that.
telling you, the guy was vexed with the rim. It's like, all right, why I gotta shoot to you, And it's like, just turns his back multiple times. It just doesn't make sense to me, man, because they tell you grew up, and you see, part of our DNA is programmed ever since kids. What they tell you when you're practicing your shot,
When
you
you shoot the
follow
ball, you follow
through.
that shot. Yeah. You follow
and,
through, you follow the
and
ball.
right, and here's the guy that's supposed to be the standard for the greatest level of shooting, totally doing the opposite and not giving a crap
And
about it.
you know what's the weirdest thing about it? Steph Steph had a interview the other day and he said, "Yo, I hate it when people try to follow what I do because following through is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Don't follow me. Do what you're supposed to do with the
e-
fundamentals. Follow through, follow the ball. Don't do
exactly.
like me." Which is weird when you because I mean if you see like one of the best players in the game playing, you want to emulate what he does. So you want to shoot and turn around like
Exactly.
got this, right? But then at the same time he's telling you, yo, you got to follow through. You got to
Yeah,
follow the ball,
yeah.
everything. And I was like, I don't know if I should trust you, Steph. You're
it's
saying
it's
one thing and doing another.
it's crazy. So Stan Can was saying that, yeah, because he makes it so effortless.
Well, I mean, he
It's
does.
very true. For him to do that with all the legends around proves he's the best shooter of all time. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I think we take for granted with the All Star game. It's just the level of players actually on the court, at the same time. It's the best of the
It's
best.
a high. The thing is, it's like a. So it's one thing to be the best player on your team, and you know that you're going there
Yeah,
out play ball. But then it's another thing to know that all right, I might be the best player on my team, but on the court now there might be some guys better than me, or maybe some guys I might be better
yeah,
than some guys, but
exactly.
they're all high level guys. So it's not like you have like this small room for error. If you want to make a bad pass, normally that would go through. You make a bad pass now, that's a turnover, and
Exactly.
it's a bucket on the other end. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah. So, but that's only if they're playing at a high level, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing. So
Yeah. It's
that's even Joe because Jokic, the Joker said that he doesn't know how to play in the All Star game
yeah.
because don't forget we have a mixture sometimes. And like in the beginning, you want to throw alley hoops, so he just says, I just pass the ball all the time. Just
Yeah.
he hardly tries to score.
Yeah. No, it's and I understand his point of view, right? And that's why I would say, for me, that it's the format. It's
Yeah,
it's you have players coming in that want to show that they're the best and they will go 100%. You have the Giannis. You have
Giannis.
guys that are like LeBron, who he's not going to go 100%, but when I think he's
Yeah,
more focused on, okay, well, it's a funny dynamic because he has a 5-year win streak now with Team LeBron that he's going to try to
crazy.
protect, right? Because they
He
look
did
at that
protect
and
it.
yeah, and they protected it, right?
Yeah,
But also he's probably more the player that will look to end the game as he did, take the
mm,
last shot rather than try to score a bunch of buckets, etc. Right? But yeah, it's a weird dynamic. But I think ultimately they've made some good steps. I think what they have to do is just kind of dial in and try to, you know, fix the tempo in certain quarters. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I think
yeah.
that's really where they are. But it has come a long way because prior, the lead in some games for a while used to be blown out.
bro.
between teams, and they're
Should
all
be at
just, and
20
even with the
points.
leads
Yeah.
growing, you see a lead like 20 points and growing, right?
Yeah.
And the other team's not responding. The
No,
defense
they're
is not
just there.
climbing. They're just there, okay, So that has gone away because now noticeably you see when the leads grow into 7, you see the other team start taking some better shots. They start
Yeah.
kind of playing more aggressively to try and get things in motion to cut the lead, right? So that's a
Yeah.
good thing that we're seeing. They don't want that lead going carrying over to the last quarter, right? So that's a good thing.
I just
Um,
want a game like that game, that All Star game, where it came down to the fourth quarter with Starberry, AI,
yeah,
Kobe, Timmy. That was the best All Star. Was that 2003,
yeah,
2004? Oh, that was the best All Star game I've ever seen in my life.
yeah. That that
Ever.
that was that was. It had some sequences that make it almost impossible to beat. You know.
It had like the West was winning. They were killing. The West was winning. The game was done. And all of a sudden, you see Starberry started to hit some threes. AI started to hit some. I was like, oh, what's happening? They came
Yeah,
back. You see Kobe hit some clutch shots. I always found it interesting that you always know who's the best player
yeah,
in the league when it comes down to crunch time.
right. Yeah, yeah. No, it's that game will always sit in my mind in terms of just absolute clutch moments in an all-star game. I don't think we ever surpass that.
No,
Ever surpass
definitely
that.
not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Wish you could go back.
yeah. But the mere fact it shows greatness, right? Because the mere fact that you have a guy going off. Like you remember that, did Westbrook get MVP that year where he just was absolutely lights
Almost, it
out?
was almost perfect, right? I think he only
Yeah.
missed one shot. Yeah, I
Right.
remember that.
When a guy gets that hot, you don't you'd usually win the game. But with Marbury that year when he was going off, Kobe's like, "Really? Okay. Okay. Let's
I got something
let's
for you.
I got something for you." Exactly, So when a guy could respond to you while you're going off at your best and
Yeah,
he's like, "No, no, no. Let's not do that." And he goes off too. I mean, it's just
yeah.
that's
That was nice.
it's
That was
another
nice.
level,
Like
man. That's another
like
level.
I doubt they'll ever get to that level. But
Yeah.
if we could get like just a tier under, it'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Just a tier under,
yeah.
that'll be good.
I mean, the only thing that comes, well, it doesn't even really come close to that, but where you see two guys step up all at once and just literally just going off one after the next was probably, you have to go to the bubble, Utah versus the Nuggets, right? In that
Yes, yes,
series where
yes.
guys just trading buckets.
One after the other.
So that, yeah.
Mitchell for
But
three, then you see Jamal. Yeah, I was like,
yeah, it's like, what's
okay.
going on here, right?
This is good.
So,
This is good.
yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, so the conversation switched up to, yeah, so Embiid was going for it. Yeah, he wanted it. He understands, I think, that, you know, he has a lot to do, especially after the years with all the injuries. I think definitely that
Yeah,
he recognizes, okay, I can't play around as these guys who have been able to play through all the years that they've been there. So I'm gonna
yeah,
go all in, kind of like Giannis in a way. But Giannis is, I mean, that's just his natural mentality. But Joe
it is.
kind of, Joel Embiid understands that I've missed a lot of time and I haven't showed up in
Yeah,
a lot of
he is.
ways.
He's been injured for a long time. So and he's
Right?
always injured in weird moments.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
And
he had to like go for that one.
he now is
Tried.
on a poster 3. We have to call threes poster now because he was on the poster of the Kawhi shot, and he's now on the poster of
Oh.
LeBron shot to end the game pretty much. So,
Yo,
not,
I actually,
not where
I
you want to
noticed
be.
that. I was like, how are you? Is this a thing for you, Joel? Guys just want to make sure that they want to kill you because he came across the help
He was
again. He
flying
came
in,
across
man.
the help.
I
I'm
looked at
like
that.
money.
Yeah, I looked at that and I was like, wow, okay, Joe.
That's it. Reminiscent of the Kawhi shot.
Yeah, he was definitely hungry, and that weekend was definitely up there. After looking at the game, I could definitely state that it was up there as one of the top games. I think the entertainment factor was there. You had
Since
Steph.
they started a new format, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the
Plus,
the
yeah,
first one, the first year was
plus it
pretty
was
good.
epic. It was epic.
Yeah, the first year
It
was
was
pretty good
epic.
because
It was
they
epic.
went back to back
Yeah.
to
It
end
was
that game.
epic. It was epic. It was
Yeah.
epic. Um, and yes, I love the fact that it ended the way it did, but I just wish it had played out a bit longer. I just
Yeah.
sometimes I think
Yeah.
the points being tallied on need to be like doubled. It just seems very short.
It's
Now,
it's 24 points they have to score, right?
yeah, but that goes
Right.
by so quickly. It just seems like it's so
Especially in the
short.
new era, yeah, it does.
Yeah, it goes
Mm.
by so short
But
because
you don't
guys.
want to have it too much
Yeah,
because
that's true, right? But man, it just seems like
that
2 minutes and the
that makes
game's
the
over.
thing is it make it so much more exciting because if you have 24
Yeah,
points, yo, guys, we got to play some defense.
right.
So,
Now,
that's only a couple shots.
I now this could have been Can, it could have been you, or it could have been something on a report that I saw.
Okay.
And either one of you are going to clarify. All right.
Okay.
But this, I find this is to be a wonderful, and don't claim it if you know you didn't tell me. Okay. So, all right. So, um, someone mentioned to me, or I saw somewhere, that the NBA should change the overtime format.
That definitely
When
was not me.
when you go to overtime, you should have a set amount of points that you play to rather than just a quarter of 5 minutes.
Interesting.
So you should have teams play to a certain point, but stipulate that it cannot end on a free throw or something along those lines.
Wow.
Yeah, so the game doesn't effectively. He's like negative, not me. All
Yeah,
right.
that wasn't me.
Yeah,
I don't even remember seeing anything like this.
and that's true. LeBron said the I'm going back to the comment here. LeBron said that uh, MJ inspired that shot, but that was a one-legged Dirk shot.
It
I
was
saw it.
a one-legged Dirk shot, yeah.
Yeah, the
Because
immediately as I saw it, I was
he
like, "That's
turned
not an
and he went
MJ shot."
off of one leg.
Yeah,
Like that's
definitely.
not that's
That's
not a
not
fadeaway.
fade. It's not fade. So, well, yeah, it's a fadeaway, but it's off the one-legged fade
A
though.
one-legged fade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not it's not even his fadeaway shot that he uses
No.
anyways. It's not.
No.
So, but he used it wisely and it came off.
Hey, once it
Yeah,
goes in.
yeah. But yeah, no, somebody was saying that definitely, or it looks like I may have seen this somewhere, that
Okay.
they should change the overtime format.
That would be
I
interesting.
fully would support this.
I do not disagree. It's like changing
Yeah.
the NFL's overtime thing.
Yeah,
I agree.
rules.
Change
They
it.
tweaked it.
Change it.
They tweaked
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
change it.
I
You gotta
think
change it.
you play to uh you know, a certain amount of points, and if
But
it
you can't win on free
crosses,
throws.
right. But also, if the game, let's say these teams freeze up and you just can't, you have to protect your players, right? You can't have them out there
Yeah.
playing for 10 minutes, overtime straight, right? So if it goes past a certain threshold, then it goes to sudden death. First basket wins effectively.
I think
So
that's why they have it. I think that's why they have it as 5 minutes.
yeah,
So they don't
yeah,
pass that threshold.
right.
But
But I
I
think
don't mind
set it to
because don't
10
forget
points.
sometimes five. Don't forget sometimes in 5 minutes they only score 2 points.
You don't score exactly.
or three.
Exactly.
So that's the thing.
Exactly. But
So,
I'm
like,
thinking you either set it to, now this potentially shortens an overtime game, right? But it also kills off games where you have those classics that have gone to 3 overtimes, a triple overtime game, and you get your tickets worth, right? You're sitting there in the stadium and you're like, wow, man, 3 overtimes, I'm
yeah,
here for it, So
because
I could see
sometimes
them
that
being
happens.
I could see them being a bit hesitant with that, right? But I just think that, maybe looking at that, studying that would be a good way to enhance the excitement. Because some
I don't know,
overtimes
man.
teams just get tired. You could tell some of the star players just don't want to be there anymore because they don't want to risk injury. So maybe look at it and see how that plays off. Yeah.
But don't forget how golden goal went with the real football. Remember
Yeah.
they tried to implement golden goal and then they had
Yeah.
to go back to extra time.
Right. Yeah, they did. They did. They did.
because because
Yeah.
it was iffy. Because so essentially, it's like a golden goal
Yeah.
because it's the time limit is coming out,
Yeah.
and you're saying let's make 5 points basically.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's. I think you do have risk, and that's why I say study it rather than just implement. Just
Yeah,
look at
fair
it,
enough.
see how it's feasible, and go from there. Or maybe you look at playoffs, where you definitely need to rest teams, and you shouldn't be looking at like a triple overtime. Try to end the game.
Hey man,
So maybe along those lines.
it was some stiff competition. You gotta be in your
Yeah.
best physical shape. It's the
True,
playoffs,
true,
baby. It's the
true,
playoffs.
true. But I think that they're looking at player health and but at the same time trying to milk as much excitement from the game as possible.
Yeah, I
So
mean, if you
yeah,
have a triple time game in the playoffs, especially NBA Finals, think about that.
yeah,
Instead
yeah,
of so a triple overtime, as opposed to one overtime, a golden goal overtime.
yeah,
Which one
yeah,
would you
yeah,
prefer? Even though the golden goal would be like a little bit more intense because you're like, oh my god, who's gonna score? That kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
Whereas,
yeah,
whereas a
yeah.
triple overtime would be hella intense because you got buckets going left, right, left,
Yeah.
right, left,
I
right.
I would I would pick actually I would go with the actual golden goal style because that basket becomes effectively a buzzer beater or something along those
Well,
lines.
pretty much, yeah.
you know
Mm.
um but as I say, I respect the intensity of an overtime game. Sometimes those games can be like classics. We've had
Yeah.
absolute classics, right? So yeah. So as I say, and keeping it as it is always allows for a team to get back into a game, right? So that's one of the things that you have there that you can rely on. You're always going to have that level of excitement. um Now, there's something that's been floating around over the weekend at the All-Star
Ooh,
game.
let's hear
LeBron
it.
was answering a lot of questions. He seemed to be taking quite a lot of shots. The post and love that he was given to other GMs was clear and evident, in
Yo,
his posts and the things he was saying.
especially OKC's
Right.
OKC. I was like, what?
Exactly. Exactly. There was no mention of his GM, and there were rumors
Uh,
that, obviously him and Davis were not on board with the actions he took going into the trade deadline.
Man, they
Um,
wanted Westbrook. Keep Westbrook.
and that's, some people may say go with it, but I could understand them saying, hey, we got to try and get better here, but um, now, he was asked about his son. He also mentioned that wherever Bronny is, I'll be. Some of the comments
But
towards
he
that were
he
just
he didn't really say
hilarious.
what he said was wherever. I assume that he meant that whenever Bronny reaches, that will be his final season, and because he said in his final season he'll go to wherever Bronny is playing.
Yeah. Now, the thing about that
So that
is,
doesn't necessarily mean that because he's drafted.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's another thing.
Mm.
If Bronny is drafted, he's not a top 10 player. He's not top 20 ranked
No,
right now.
no.
There's a good chance that he does not become an NBA player, right? There's that chance. So we'll see.
He still has a year.
Yeah. So we'll see how that turns out. But a lot of rumors came up around him speaking towards the effect of the door is not closed on a Cleveland return.
Well, yeah,
Effectively on him leaving the Lakers.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
Well, he said he's gonna leave, so that's fine.
I have definitely three teams that I think would be able to take LeBron James in.
But this is on a condition that they select Bronny.
No. We're saying that comment that he made was not towards his son. The comment where he
Oh,
said the door is not closed on Cleveland was a
oh,
different
right, right,
subject.
right. Mm.
I think with that said, you could look at a New York City where they're dying for a star, where they would embrace what he brings to the table because he could still, at the age of 37, 38, give you 25 points a game, right? And with the energetic crowd that you have now, the expectations in New York, you have to be honest as a star, right?
It
Your
makes no sense.
your expectations. Remember, right now he cares about what? It is winning. He would love to win, but the
He wants the
older you get,
points.
this is the threshold, right? He wants the points.
Yeah.
He's gonna get that anywhere he goes to. So at the end of the day, if you're leaving LA for a market that really doesn't know what they want, to be honest, the fans, etc. When you look at, the and Alana says LeBron annoys her, but it's honestly his goal is to get the points records, right? Be 40K, 10K, 10K. That's points,
Yeah.
rebounds, assists. He's going to be the only player to ever do that. All right. And so that puts him above, as Shaq was saying, well, you're going to have a hard time not calling him the GOAT at that point, right? But
Yes.
the point is, he's probably not want to go back, other than Cleveland. He's not going to a small market team, right? So you're looking at New York. You're looking at either going back to Cleveland, or since his sons are in LA, this would be insane. Not LA effectively, but to at a stage where you're not, I would say, the best top two player, top three. You're not in the top five, but you can still give to a team. I think you would see a team in California take him up,
What team
and
in
keep him. I'm
California?
not gonna mention that team's name. You know that a team that would, you know, people. Listen, I don't want to see. I would never want to see this happen. I would never. In fact, I
Why,
don't
why
care
would
for
he
most
go to the
teams.
bridge? Why would he go to the bridge?
He to stay in LA, to stay close to LA, to stay in California. The thing about it is this, right? We talk about legacy and guys, you know, the value of staying with a team now is almost, unless you've been there, you've crossed that threshold of being with a team for 10 years, it really doesn't carry much value to you. When you look at the way players move around now, being on any team is just the way of the world right now, right? So at the end of the day, you either go to New York where they're thirsty.
I
That's going to
honestly
be
do
the
not see him going to New York.
it won't be to win. It would be to, continue on with the points record on a
Okay,
team
but
where they
he can do
respect.
that on any team.
Yeah, but think about it. Think about it. The three largest markets in the United States are what? They're LA, New York,
New
Chicago.
York, right?
He's not going to go
New
to
York's New
Chicago.
York's number one. Okay.
Right. He's not going to go to Chicago because Chicago is doing what? Chicago is building a championship caliber
Right.
team with young players and
But
stars.
he's already in LA.
LA, well, that's what I'm saying. He's not going to go to the Clippers, right? Because that's legacy damaging, right?
God
You
no.
can't go
Yeah.
to the Clippers. You're already in LA, but fans in LA, they expect the Lakers are expected to develop their team and hunt for the new star. What comes next? LeBron, if he wants to push that record on and focus on the points. Now, again, this is all hypothetical, but I'm looking at a sense that I don't believe he's going to retire as a Laker, right? And with that said, I
Okay.
think that if we're looking at it through that lens, right, where you're not going to get a ring by yourself now, you don't have that ability to carry a team anymore, right? What teams would you select? And I'm saying New York because they haven't had a star in so long, and there's that respect for him. It's a large market team that it's one of the few in the top 5 markets, probably the only one, if he were to leave LA, that he could walk into and get respect without earning it. And that's because the bar in New York is so much lower than in LA. LA has had, it's just the truth, right? It's different teams. You look at New York has the larger market, LA has 16 titles, 17
Yeah.
titles, right?
Yeah.
There are levels, right? And it means that the expectations, even though you see the fans in New York going crazy and rabid over Julius Randle, he doesn't have much thick skin. He doesn't have a resume. Whereas LeBron has come in and done damage like MJ, Kobe, and the greats before him, right? In New York on the biggest stage. So I think he gets that respect by going there putting down 25 points a night. And if the team's competitive, even better for his legacy. So that's one of the potential areas I think he could take advantage of. Other than that, you stay in LA. That's just the way it is. Stay and
I
retire.
don't I don't
Um,
see him leaving LA unless it's like he said to go and play with Bronny.
well, it
Honestly,
depends on
honestly.
where. It depends on where. If Bronny ends up in OKC, LeBron's not going to OKC to play
You
for the
don't know
Thunder.
that.
He's
You
not
don't know
going,
that.
dude. Let me be very clear, bro. Fly to OKC and shout out to all the people in OKC. I'm just relative to where these guys are in the market. There's certain
Okay.
places where you have NBA teams that just you can't consider it a market when you study the commercial value and the potential in those markets. It's just they just don't have the ability. Like, let me call out those markets for you where he would never go. Since we're on the subject, right?
So we going. Okay, go ahead.
And Jeffrey
I wish
said,
that I wish.
I don't think he would retire there unless his dream comes through in LA. My bet is Cleveland and always feel that way.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I to this day, I'm disappointed with the fact that he joined LA, but that's a whole different conversation. Right. So with Braun, the markets that I don't see him ever going to, OKC, New
Okay.
Orleans Pelicans.
Wow.
Listen, you don't even get NBA reports out of
Nobody.
New Orleans.
Nobody cares about New Orleans.
I don't see him going to the Raptors either, because the reason
No.
for this. No, don't get me wrong.
LeBron.
Toronto is a lovely market, but it is not. It is outside of the states effectively, and that's business being affected there. Okay, having to fly back into the country every time, port of entry. It's just not something I would see him doing. Toronto, again, top tier city. No disrespect. I'm just saying because of the market difference across borders, etc.
You got to cross borders and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Portland. He will never go to Portland.
Okay.
Okay. The Charlotte. He will never go to Charlotte.
Man, he has to go play for the Michael Jordan. That would be stellar. Go play
Devastating.
for his idol.
Devastating. That's you're trolling, right? You're trolling, right?
I am.
You're obviously trolling. Yeah, he would never go to the Charlotte.
Gotta go play for Charlotte, man.
You will never go to Charlotte.
Best way to end your career is to play for your idol's team.
Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks. He'll never play for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Gotta play with Giannis, fam.
It's just there's certain markets, as I said, and I hope I took you through some of them, that NBA players will not go to even if it's for his son. I know he's talking right now. I think more than likely, here's what happens with his son. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. His son will go either highest second round, middle of the second round. All right. Now, what may be a range clutch sport because of that connection and the power that they have, they may have
the Lakers can pick him up.
Right. The Lakers can pick him up. But I think what may happen is that teams will strategically, teams are listening to this. Teams are thinking, listen, the guy still has the number one selling jersey in the NBA. That will probably continue, especially as he enters the later stages of his career.
Man,
where you
this was
don't
a market
know.
employ to raise his son's level in the draft.
Well,
okay. I saw that as like a LeVar Ball kind of situation.
What I see here, let me tell you, if I am a GM in the front office, I'm thinking, man, you're telling me we're going to have the number one jersey in the States? If I could just draft this second round kid, he may even go higher because of that. And it may be
a late first round.
Yeah. But make no mistake, you're going to see a top market team jump in and try to grab him late if he's available on the table.
All right, think of it this way. If you know for sure that you're going to get one of the greatest players to play on your team
Yeah.
if you just draft.
Draft his
It might be
son.
just it might be just for 1 year. It might be just for 1 year, right? All
That's
you
why
gotta
I said,
do is draft his son.
listen,
So
if
I would
I'm
say
New
it could go
York,
anywhere.
if I am New York City, then I am drafting Bronny. I don't care about his skill level, but because of knowing that, if
Well,
I am New
they
York
don't they
City,
don't care. New York doesn't care about their players' skill level anyway, so it doesn't matter.
yeah. So shout out to Fannin Campbell, checking in
Hey,
from
Fannin,
Grenada,
what's up?
and also to Will King. Will, what time is it in the UK, man? Shout out to Will,
It's like
um,
4 hours ahead
out
or
there.
something like
Yeah, it's about 6 roughly. So it's definitely late over there. Probably chilling back, drinking something cold at this point. But yeah, welcome to the show, man. So I think at that stage you're not thinking about, you know um,
You're
the
not thinking
skill
about
level.
playoffs. You're
Yeah,
not thinking about
you're
playoffs.
2:30 a.m. Thank you for joining the show at this time.
Jeez, man. Somebody's a
So
night owl.
definitely, definitely. So I think at this stage, definitely, I think it's just down to, let's just grab the value. He's gonna sell shirts. Bronny's probably gonna sell shirts as
Well, you
well,
sell shirts and tickets because
and
it's
merch.
going to be packed. Most likely, it's going to be his last season, so you're
Yep,
going to want to see every game of LeBron's last
absolutely,
season. So it's
absolutely.
going to be packed.
It's gonna be packed every time, and merchandise is gonna go through the door, right through
Yeah,
those local stores. So plus your market is gonna explode as well, right? Having the star power come into your market, I think it's gonna go crazy as well. So it's things to look forward to. I think he ends up maybe in New York. I give. Here's the thing. I give Cleveland um, the highest chance of grabbing him and his son. Um, in fact, I give Cleveland
you should do a
the highest
poll.
chance of him actually retiring in that jersey. Also, I give
We should do a
maybe the
poll.
second
Definitely
place.
need to do
Yeah,
a
we
poll.
definitely can. I think Lakers are in second, and then I give New York third. I think that will rise over time because New York has to realize that they're not getting any stars anytime soon. Um, and they have to
That's
step
fair.
in and actually do that. But
Yeah,
he should retire a Cavalier, to be honest. That would be the honorable thing
man.
to do, I think, for his
He should
fans out there.
retire where his son plays, and his son
I
is
don't
going to
believe
play
in
for
that,
the
man.
Charlotte Hornets.
LeBron James retiring as Oklahoma City Thunder player. That would be so awkward, man. That would just be so awkward. I hope that is not the
So man,
case. Um,
think of it this way: he might end the season, right? Let's
oh
let's, let's
my
just say
goodness.
he goes to OKC. He ends the season with OKC, goes back to the Cavs for a 1-day contract. Is correct.
I,
Boom.
I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this. You have an agenda because your agenda is the fact that your boy, who the late great, retired on 60 points in all his glory in front of all the LA fans. But I noticed that you're absolutely fine with LeBron retiring in the most dishonorable manner. You don't care. He could retire on the toilet. You don't care at this point. You don't care. That's the truth. You guys in the audience notice that, right? It's like go retire for Michael Jordan. Go. These legacy damaging situations he has no problem with. But I get it. I'm on to you because we know that you don't want him to retire on the same level as your boy. But we understand. I totally get that. That's fine with me. That's fine with
There's
me.
no
I,
way.
I
There's
get it.
no
I
way
get
he's
it.
gonna score 60 points.
No, I listen. 60 points is just really unheard of. I mean, um, that's just the way things work. And we have to sit back and
It's
enjoy
just
that,
the way things
right?
work.
But I think he retires with a triple double, and just go out on that note. I think the
Okay,
the
and
world will be happy.
the most LeBron way ever.
Yeah, I think you put down some really cool passes, put on some showtime, maybe even try a dunk in the final game, At that point, you don't know what type of condition he'll be in, right? So maybe it carries more value.
This is true.
But just I'm not expecting him. He's done too much to have to worry about scoring 60 in a final game. That's a Kobe way of going out, guns blazing.
Yes,
Um,
that's correct.
that's that.
Hey,
I don't want LeBron taking 50 to score 60. I'm sorry, we don't need that. Or was it
bro,
60?
if I
Or was
miss
it 60 to
9,
make
I'm
60?
gonna shoot 10. Nah. He shot 50 shots. That's not the point.
I
That's
thought it
not the
was like
point. If I
60,
miss 9, I'm gonna
60
take number
shots.
10.
Okay, all right, all right.
You got
Yeah,
jokes.
no,
You
no,
got jokes.
no. Yeah, no, no. We don't need the inefficiency to finish your career, man. No,
Wow.
wow. No, you're
You got
asking for a
60
lot,
though.
man. You're asking for a lot. You're asking for a lot. No, I
A
think
windmill
he's
dunk.
that's a lot, Fanon. That's a lot. So, um, but I think let's be honest. I think he goes out with a modest. I think he, just keeps it thorough, keeps it efficient, puts on a show, some nice passes. He may not be the player that we're
Wherever
watching now.
Bronny is.
Yeah. I mean, and if Bronny is coming in the next, when did he say? What's Bronny's course right now? Maybe 2-3 more years.
2, I think.
2. Okay. Okay. So 2 more years for
2024, I
Bron.
believe, is when he's eligible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he comes in 2 years. So Braun is effectively almost on 40, right? Coming into that. So I honestly think that he's not going to be that player. Windmill is out of the question. Maybe a baby tomahawk where, you're, I don't know, 2 feet
Baby.
off the ground. Yeah. Something simple, man. We don't need the guy breaking his bones, man. So, but definitely, it's interesting, and we'll see where he ends up. But I think New York has a shot because of what it will mean for that market to have a guy come in and help transform the culture, coach the guys in there. Something that I would love LeBron to do because of how good he is in terms of his IQ. Go out as a player coach. So be a player coach for whatever team you're on. Become the coach, but also be a player at the same time.
I think he's too passive. I think he's too passive aggressive for that.
Yeah. I mean, that would be insane. And Alana, I do agree with you. He would be in great shape. I mean, when you're spending what, $1,500,000 on your body, then yeah, you better be in shape. Yeah, with the JLo insurance package. So for everything, every muscle. So, but definitely.
I got before we go for, I got $100 that says $100 is a lot of money though. Anyway, I got $100. Bronny's going to be picked up by the Pistons.
Who's going to be picked up?
Bronny.
I mean,
Hey, you see, you can't say no.
No, because I know where you're coming at, right? That's a very, it's. I mean, it's a shot, but it's a strategic shot because the Pistons are so terrible that they'll have a. I mean, it would be, but at the same time, let me be clear here. If the Pistons were to use an early first-round pick to pick up Bronny James when Bronny James is not even a top 20 ranked player, I'm taking a break from the NBA. I'm not. I need a break from the NBA at that point. Let me tell you, that would be wow. And for the team to bring in LeBron James, the guy that scored 25 straight points, was it 25 straight points on them, to break apart their roster, that would be funny. That would be funny.
Yeah. What roster? They ain't got no roster.
On a bright note, though, it's just a 20-minute flight from where I am. So yeah, you just go up and down across Lake Michigan and you're there. So yeah, I might have to catch a game or two, Bron James, ladies and gentlemen, the Detroit Pistons at forward. No, man, that just sounds so wrong, man. That just sounds so terrible, But definitely, yeah, we're entering a weird situation with the NBA. But I get, you see, this guy is onto something. He's just, listen, man. If he sees LeBron James playing for the Charlotte Hornets, he's gonna have the longest smile on his face, man. Kobe would never. Kobe would never. It's like, yeah, I don't want to even hear or be a part of that, ladies and gentlemen. So we're not having that. Um, yeah.
You don't think Kobe would have gone and played for Mike?
No, man. Come on. For what? No. He would never do that. He would never do that. Come on, man. Kobe play
So
for Mike?
you don't think if MJ called Kobe say, "Done, I need you on my
Maybe
team, son."
maybe post 2002 Kobe.
Huh? Okay. All right, fair enough.
Sorry, not post, pre. The Kobe that was
Pre.
wearing that MJ, yeah, the Kobe that was wearing that MJ
Yeah.
shirt after the championship would probably do it. Young, not knowing better. Yeah, right. So,
Okay.
but after that,
Okay.
no, sir. He's not going to go play for MJ. I mean, he would play for the Bulls, but let me tell you, I have a I have a feeling Kobe was trying to go to the Bulls to shatter all Mike's records out there, man. I just had a feel like, why
Definitely.
would you come to the Bulls? Knowing that Mike did all of this with them. If he came here, he'd be chasing knowing Kobe.
He would have been chasing his shadow all over.
Everywhere.
He
Everything
would have probably
accomplished.
knocked down. He would have knocked down 60 points almost every night. Every night.
So Fanon was mentioning, because you guys didn't address if LeBron retires in the playoffs or finals. Listen, at this stage of his career, he's not sure if he'll see another final. That's just truth.
What you say? What if Bronny goes to a contender?
Okay, I see. It's connected to that.
Okay, yeah.
What if Bronny, goes to a contender? Wow, and that would be amazing. To be honest, that would be amazing. So yeah. Shout out to Alana. We're closing off as well, so we're hitting the sack with you as well. So let's definitely. Glad you love the podcast. Remember, check your Facebook Messenger for your gift. 2 months subscription to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So that means you can stream to any of your devices. Glad you guys could tune in to us tonight. Any last words for us, man, as we end this edition?
You know what I'm going to say. LeBron to Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I will continue. I vow to continue my streak. I'm sorry, and I want to apologize to all my fans for the loss I took today.
For losing?
This was just me being off a bit going into the All-Star weekend. I had a bit too much to drink.
Wow.
Right before we made those predictions. So I will honor your affection and your commitment to seeing me win these bets.
Sounds like he's the MVP right. Trying to make an excuse out here.
That's right, man. That's right. But
you're
definitely,
just pull your big boy pants up. Let's go.
Definitely, we'll try and make up for that
with another loss.
Yeah. But let's end the show actually with some predictions here. So,
what we get?
Cavs, Pistons. I'm going with the Cavs.
Cavs, Pistons. Yeah, okay. Cavs as well.
Celtics, Nets. I'm going Celtics.
What's the next one? See, every time I choose the Celtics, they lose.
So
Celtics, Celtics, Nets. Where are they playing? Where are they playing?
It looks like they're playing at. It doesn't say. Yeah, Barclays. So they don't have Kyrie.
So Celtics.
Okay. Suns, Thunder. I'm going with the Suns.
Yeah, well, same.
Okay.
But don't forget, they don't have Chris Paul.
I still think they win that.
Yeah.
Grizzlies, Timberwolves.
Ooh.
By the way, you picked the Suns, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Grizzlies, Timberwolves.
I'll take the Grizz.
I'm going with the Grizz. Hawks, Bulls.
Where?
It looks like it's in Chicago, United Center.
Bulls.
All right. I'm gonna go with the Bulls as well. They should have a couple other players coming back also
Yeah,
after the
that's
All-Star
what I was
game.
thinking.
And Warriors, Trailblazers.
That's all the games we had.
No, you have one more after that.
Okay, well, I got Warriors because everything we say is the same.
Yeah, I got Warriors as well. What about Nuggets
Last one.
Kings?
Ooh.
Actually, give me the
Kings.
Hawks against the Bulls, and I'll
Give me the
take the
Kings.
Nuggets with the Kings. So it looks like we have one game separating us then.
Give me the Kings. And you get the Nuggets?
Yeah, I'll take the Nuggets.
And you got the Hawks?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. Good.
Bet.
All right. Thursday, folks, join us. Thank you so much for tuning in today. There will be more prizes. Stay tuned. We have guests also coming in at a, I would say that's been pushed back a bit. But we are in negotiations with some other guests that we will announce pretty soon. So definitely. By the way, there is the second fastest man from the Olympics is actually training in Grenada. So
That
right now.
is.
So Fred Curley, man. So definitely, if you see him, hail him up. 9.86, I believe, was the time in the Olympics. Silver gold medalist. Hear me, silver medalist.
Silver
So,
gold medalist?
I know,
Damn,
right?
that's-
It's crazy.
You won
So
first and
in my
second?
mind, I'm like, he's a winner, right? So I was like, gold medalist. But yeah,
You won
definitely
first and
silver
second.
medalist. So,
All right.
but thank you for tuning in today, and
Yes.
catch you Thursday. All right.
See you later, guys. Peace.